The Seattle Seahawks signed veteran wide receiver Brandon Marshall. It's very, very confusing news. I don't really understand it. Brandon Marshall, formerly of the Denver Broncos, then he went to the Chicago Bears. He was Jay Cutler's favorite target for a couple of years. Then he went to the Jets and the Giants, and he's really faltered. He's really kind of fallen off the wagon. It appears like Brandon Marshall can't really play anymore. Like, he's not, there's a reason this late in free agency he just signed with the team, and why he was so excited, because he didn't know if he was going to play at all this year. And so I'm going to try to understand where the Seahawks were coming from. Maybe the Seahawks thought, hey, we can bring in Brandon Marshall. He's a veteran. Maybe he can be like a player coach. We can bring Brandon Marshall in to be a veteran leader in our locker room. And it's a very small deal. The Seahawks only signed Brandon Marshall for 1 year, a 1 year deal worth $2 million. But here's why it's most confusing to me. Here's why I don't understand why the Seattle Seahawks signed Brandon Marshall. I mean, I'm sure Brandon Marshall's somewhat mature. I hear somewhat good things about him, but I see him all the time on NFL Network. And Brandon Marshall's a good broadcaster, but he's incredibly outspoken. He's honest, he's real, he's open, and that's not a bad thing at all. But outspoken veterans is kind of what we've come to not like in Seattle. It's what Seattle has appeared to push away. I thought that Seattle was like, we're done with outspoken veterans. We're going to get rid of Michael Bennett. We're going to get rid of Richard Sherman. We're going to move on from Cliff Averill. We're going to move on from all these outspoken veterans. And that's what they did again. They brought in Brandon Marshall again, which I don't really follow. I don't understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they think Brandon Marshall is going to be either a good player on the field, or maybe they think Brandon Marshall is a good guy to have in the locker room. Like, we got rid of all our veteran leaders, we should bring one back in. Maybe that's the thought process. I don't know. But it's just weird to me that, Brandon Marshall doesn't bring much on the field. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to start. They're paying him $2 million, which is actually more than I would have paid Brandon Marshall to sit on the bench. And maybe he will play, but I don't think he will. And if he does, he's not really any good. So why did they do it? I don't know. I guess the only thing I can possibly think of is that the Seattle Seahawks thought Brandon Marshall could bring some veteran leadership to their locker room. But that's just a weird move to me, because they got rid of all their veteran leaders in the locker room. So I don't know. I just don't understand. Brandon Marshall signing with the Seattle Seahawks, that was a weird move that I just have a hard time following and a hard time understanding. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as my best, most interesting clips. If you like Strong Opinion Sports as much as I do, help me grow this podcast by telling your friends about this show. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow this podcast by telling your friends. Thank you so much, and have a great day.